After Kristallnacht had allowed 10,000 children, but not their parents, to escape Nazism in what was called the Kindertransport. In February 1939, Democratic Senator Robert Wagner of New York and Republican Congresswoman Edith Norse Rogers of Massachusetts introduced a new bill.
The bill says let's let in 10,000 kids between the age of 5 and 14 per year, 1939 and 1940, and let's not count them against the immigration quota system.
The First Lady backed the bill. Her husband privately offered advice on how it might be passed, but said nothing in public. But the American Legion, the Daughters of the American Revolution, and the American Coalition of Patriotic Societies were all opposed. They had favored some of the 60 bills that had recently been introduced to reduce immigration quotas.
It's a xenophobic refusal. I can't explain it because it seems so cruel to me, especially given a country as big as the United States with plenty of space. I do understand it in terms of anti-Semitism. I don't want to understand that anti-Semitism could be so deep and so cruel.
If I know the American public who fought the League of Nations propagandists.
Father Coughlin called for the creation of a national Christian front to combat the influence of what he called communistic Jews, and claimed to his vast radio audience that Jewish businessmen were firing their Christian employees to make room for Jewish refugees.
There is still the United States Senate with whom these forces must contend.
The restrictionists, people who want to restrict immigration, the isolationists, the anti-Semites come out of the woodwork.
So I want to show you this. So I just want to tell you the truth about what's happening. So Trump had just bombed another fishing boat off of Venezuela under the guise of we're fighting narco-terrorism. And so let's remember why Trump is really bombing boats and sending the U.S. Navy battleships down to Venezuela. Why?
How about we're buying oil from Venezuela? When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door. But now we're buying oil from Venezuela, so we're making a dictator very rich. Can you believe this? Nobody can believe it. You know where the oil, their oil is garbage. It's horrible.
So that's why Trump is doing this, because they've got more oil than Saudi Arabia. But guess who just admitted it? The New York Times. So Branko Marcetic, who does some good work sometimes, and here's one of the things he did. He said, for some reason, the New York Times relegates its own very important reporting about Trump's regime change plans for Venezuela to the 11th paragraph. You want to see what they say in the 11th paragraph?
Okay.
So this is the headline, Kurt. U.S. military buildup in Caribbean signals broader campaign against Venezuela.
Finally.
So do you want to know what they say in the 11th paragraph? Here it is. Several current and former military officials, diplomats, and intelligence officers say that while fighting drugs is the pretext for the recent U.S. attacks, the real goal is to drive Mr. Maduro from power one way or another. That's in this article. This article from September 20th.
Oh, I thought it was from No Shit Magazine.
Yeah.
It was from the New York Times, you say.
So here's what they say. The U.S. military strikes this month on 3 boats that Trump's administration officials have asserted were smuggling drugs in the Caribbean Sea have cast a spotlight on this sizable naval armada and aerial fleet of spy aircraft that the Pentagon has dispatched to the region in what it says is a counter-narcotics and counter-terrorism mission. Well, I just showed you that's not what it is. Trump admitted he gave the game away when he was running for president. He said it's all about the oil. Military officials, diplomats, and analysts say a main purpose of the force is to ratchet up pressure on Venezuela's president, Nicolas Maduro, as top figures in the Trump administration call him an illegitimate leader and accuse him of directing the actions of criminal gangs and drug lords. Okay, drug cartels. We're not going to have a cartel operating or masquerading as a government operating in our own hemisphere, said Marco Rubio. And Mr. Maduro had been indicted in the United States and was a fugitive of American justice. There's a reward out for his capture. They have him. So this is how the New York Times reported this. So this is what they're saying. They're keeping the narrative up, so they keep it going. They have a military presence in the Caribbean, including F-35 fighters in Puerto Rico, suggests the United States plans to do more than blow up small vessels. But the scope of the operation remains unclear. A 4,500-member force currently aboard 8 warships is too small to invade Venezuela, and it is not operating in the main body of water to carry out a major drug interdiction campaign. So it's not about the drugs. That would be the Eastern Pacific Ocean region's experts say. The clandestine deployment of elite special operation forces suggests that strikes or commando raids inside Venezuela itself may be in the works. Administration officials refuse to say what U.S. military action might... This is how they're reporting it before they get to the truth. So they have to tell you 10 paragraphs of lies. So asked on Air Force One on route back to Washington from Britain on Thursday if he had discussed regime change in Venezuela with Mr. Rubio or any of his military leaders, Trump said no. Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, said recently that the administration was prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding in our country and bring those responsible to... In a news conference this week, Mr. Maduro condemned the first strike carried out on a Venezuelan boat on September 2nd as heinous crime and military attack on civilians who were not at war and were not militarily threatening any country. He said that if the United States believed that the boat's passengers were drug traffickers, they should have been arrested. He accused the administration of trying to start a war. Shortly after the news conference, the U.S. military struck a second boat. So that's all the stuff that's how New York Times is reporting it. And then finally, they get to the truth. Several current and former military officials, diplomats, and intelligence officers say that while fighting drugs is the pretext for the recent U.S. attacks, the real goal is to drive Maduro from power one way or another. So it took all this writing, all
New York
that
Times
writing.
that hates Trump.
New York Times
doesn't like Trump.
That hates Trump, but loves him when
regime change.
They love Trump when he's doing the wrong thing, which is trying to overthrow another government for their oil. And that's what this is. So they wrote all this stuff before they got to the truth. All that stuff before they got to the truth.
Well, if this goes as well as their drive to get Putin out of power, Maduro should be a president for life.
That's got to be a proud feeling for the fighter pilot as he blows up a 5-man wooden boat. Mission accomplished. Hey, Daddy, what did you do in the war? Shut up and eat your fish sticks.
I know I feel proud whenever I blow up a 5-man wooden boat. But I'm not the United States, Jimmy. I'm just an independent guy blowing up boats.
Trump says U.S. military fatally struck another alleged drug smuggling boat.
Can you say drug smuggling not alleged? I mean, that one, the alleged part is really hangs out there, you know?
A lot of people don't understand the roots of this, Kurt, but Donald Trump has a deep-seated hatred for small wooden fishing boats ever since he saw The Old Man in the Sea with Spencer Tracy.
I wasn't aware of that. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. President Donald Trump said Friday the U.S. military has carried out its third fatal strike against an alleged drug smuggling vessel this month.
Great.
Trump, in a social media posting, said the strike killed 3 and was carried out against a vessel affiliated with the designated terrorist organization conducting narco trafficking in the U.S. Southcom area of responsibility. He did not provide more precise details about the location of the strike.
Oh, God. They're just telling him what they're doing, and he's tweeting it, aren't they? He didn't talk to them about it. He's like, okay, Venezuela, do whatever. Oh, my God.
Narco-terrorists are enemies of the United States, actively bringing death to our shores, said the Defense Secretary Hegseth.
Oh, great.
We will track them, kill them, and dismantle their networks throughout our hemisphere at the times and places of our choosing. Okay, so this is John McCain. No matter who you vote for, you get John McCain. MAGA thought they were voting for a peace candidate in Donald Trump. And he wasn't. He's not. He's anything but.
He did say that a lot. And he sounded really good.
Yeah. He was very believable. That was the one thing.
Nobody wants all these wars. What are we doing this wars? I could have stopped it a day. If I were president,
phone call.
I
could stop the war with a phone call. 24 hours.
I guess we should just buckle down and focus on hating the left, though, Jimmy, and not think too hard about the big picture. Let Mr. Hegseth and his Brill cream hair track down and dismantle these cartels.
Mr. Trump claimed on Monday that the boat the U.S. military destroyed on September 15th was headed to the United States and linked to drug trafficking cartels.
Oh, God.
The president said the people killed were positively identified, but he did not name a specific organization that they might be associated with. Really? They could tell from the hat floating in the water who it was. That's how good they are. That's how good they are.
Has been linked to. You mean some asshole just said that?
Yep.
That's how it's linked?
Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, Mr. Trump said that he had relied on conclusive intelligence to determine the targeted boat wasn't laden with drugs.
Why is the military not saying that?
So why don't you just arrest them then? We're very careful. The military has been amazing. We have recorded proof and evidence. We know what time.
See?
Yeah. So why don't you release that then?
At a time and place you're choosing, could you release the evidence?
We have proof, just like the Epstein files. We have proof. All of you have to do is look at the cargo that was like, it spattered all over the ocean. Big bags of cocaine and fentanyl all over the place. This
my God. Oh, my dear God.
But the White House, the Pentagon, and the State Department have offered no evidence to support Mr. Trump's claims.
Great.
So just to remind everybody what this is really about, here's Donald Trump when he was running for president. He told you why they're doing this to Venezuela, and here it is.
How about we're buying oil from Venezuela? When I left, Venezuela was ready to collapse. We would have taken it over. We would have gotten all that oil. It would have been right next door.
So that's what this is all about. That's why Trump is pretending to fight narco-terrorism with Marco Rubio.
Narco Rubio. You send a devil to catch a devil, Jimmy.
You know Marco Rubio's nickname was Narco Marco, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he lived in a house with his brother-in-law?
Brother-in-law who was a massive coke dealer.
Who was a massive coke dealer. And
No, I thought it was Narco Rubio. It was Narco Marco. That's pretty good. Sounds like a nickname Trump would give him. Narco Marco. He'll sniff out those drugs.
So you got to be working really hard to think that Donald Trump is protecting the United States instead of trying to do what they've always done, overthrow another government so the United States corporations can go and steal their natural resources, creating turmoil inside another country so those people want to leave their country and come to the United States. So when 7 million Venezuelans have left their country in the last few years, where do you think they go? They come to the United States.
Well, why we bring him here under easy asylum claims? Because he wanted to collapse Venezuela.
That's right.
So the bad gangs that came, they brought them here, just like the crack,
Just like
the terrorism and all the other things. They did that.
Just like the United States invented Al Qaeda and ISIS, just like the United States brought crack into the inner cities of the United States, just like the United States government is bringing the gangs and the people from Venezuela into the United States. Your government is your enemy. I hope that you understand that. And no matter who if this election of Donald Trump doesn't prove to you that no matter who you vote for in either party, you're going to get John McCain, because the CIA will not allow someone to become president who doesn't serve the CIA. As we learned through Chuck Schumer saying that the president can't cross the CIA because if he does, they've got 6 ways to Sundays to get back at the president, meaning that they don't work for the president. The president has to worry about the CIA. So the CIA would not have allowed Donald Trump to become president if they weren't guaranteed he was going to do their bidding. And he's doing it.
And also a good word from
he's still funding he's still funding
Israel.
Ukraine. He's still funding the genocide in Gaza. He bombed Yemen, and he bombed Iran, and now he's going to overthrow Venezuela.
Yeah.
So just so you know, you didn't get that was a bait and switch with Donald Trump. He is not the peace candidate, and he's just another imperialist like John McCain.
Well, really, just another puppet. They're all they're just the face for the forward-facing thing, and I'm sure they all, at some point, think they're going to do something, but you're not allowed to.
Not allowed to.
Not allowed to, and you know what'll happen.
That's right.
You do.
And so, just like Judge Napolitano said that Donald Trump, why didn't you release the JFK files? And he said, well, if you saw what I saw, you would understand why I didn't. Well, what did he see? And my guess is they showed him a video of the JFK assassination from an angle you've never seen before. Just like Bill Hicks said in his act, just like they take him into a room, they show him a video of the JFK association, not the Zapruder film, but from another angle you've never seen before. They turn off the projector and they say, any questions? And so that happened to Donald Trump, and that's why he's doing all this.
I thought they showed a picture of him fucking Jeffrey Epstein, like in that weird birthday card.
Maybe. So, all right. So again, if I can put this together this easily, you know that everybody who works in corporate media knows the truth. They just lie. The people at the New York Times know, but it took them 11 paragraphs to tell you the truth. It took 11 paragraphs for them to tell you the truth.
You know why?
What's the truth? Here's the truth. I'll show you the truth. Here's the truth. The truth is, several current and former military officials, diplomats, and intelligence officers say that while fighting drugs is the pretext for the recent U.S. attacks, the real goal is to drive Maduro from power one way or another. So that's what this is about. So we can install a puppet, and then the puppet opens up their natural resources to American corporations.
Finally.
So
they've held on to him long enough, haven't they?
So it took the New York Times 11 paragraphs to get to that part. They'll tell you the official story, and then they sneak in the truth right there.
And you know what's really good about this op? Because all those gangsters, the Tren de Aragua, you never heard of until very recently.
Right.
And that guy that would go on and go, you can just squat in people in Spanish. He didn't even bother to learn English to say you can squat in people's houses and they can't do nothing. And Biden allowed it. You see the little dialectic rope-a-dope. So they bring them in, make you hate these Venezuelan gangs that wasn't made up, but your government brought them here to do that. So now they want to go to Venezuela and fuck with them. And if you're a good MAGA, okay, and if we learn anything from Charlie, it's we got to stick by MAGA now more than ever. You're going to be like, yeah, get them, finally. I'm sick of those gangs coming here and doing it. We should mess with Venezuela for a change.
And if you'd like to hear my jokes about all of this, you can come see me in Hermosa Beach, October 2nd, Sacramento, and San Francisco. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets, and I'll see you in Australia. We're coming to Australia in November. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Over to Steph.
Jimmy Dore, tell me quickly, how do you feel about going to Rumble right now?
Can I do one more?
You're going to do one more story?
What's the hurry?
Okay.
What's the hurry?
No, we got it. We always have to ask you, Jimmy, just to make sure you're ready to go.
Okay.
Because it's 4 o'clock. We've done an hour. Just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Hey, 27th, Saturday, I'm in Lafayette, Louisiana for one night at the Lafayette Comedy Club. I forgot to mention.
Oh, fantastic. Everybody go check it out.
All right. Sounds great.
Now's your chance.
All right. Hey, Arya, trying to manufacture consent among Christian men to continue fighting wars in the Middle East. Thank you for that one. Nathan, why wouldn't ISIS be total gentlemen when trained by the CIA and British intelligence? You are
just
correct.
said why they wouldn't be.
Where do you think Zionism came from? British Zionism came first, Nathan suggests.
Yeah, British. It was called the Zionist Fascist Party, and it's British, yes.
Solidus says the rapper Immortal Technique did a rap song a long time ago about how the CIA created ISIS and helped fund and create Osama bin Laden's organization.
And let me guess, they killed him, and he was not him.
Solidus, thank you. Everything's a scam.
I know Immortal Technique. We've met him several times. I met him at the Philadelphia Democratic Convention. It was the first time I met him.
Vientica says everything's a scam, everything's a lie, everything's hypocrisy, and so I don't comply. Back to Jimmy.
So, Kurt, where'd you go? There's a big story. What happened? Do you
want me
to
to keep reading?
Yeah, read.
All right, here we go. Candace is not equipped to cross swords with Brigitte, Eric says. Congrats on your award, JD. What's it called again? Google and Brave won't tell me, but they did share your Wikipedia page, Natalie Williams. Free story idea for the show. Google Annie Altman, Sam Altman lawsuit to see what Sam most likely did to his sister, DWG.
James Lee you had on. He talks about it. James Lee has a great thing about it.
About what?
About
Altman.
What does he say?
Oh, you know the story of Altman's sister who said Sam Altman molested her when she was young. She was 5 and he was 18, she says. And his AI scrubbed the story as much as he runs an AI company.
Oh.
So he can scrub the story. Go on James Lee's thing. I can explain it better than me.
Okay. James Lee did a great job on Friday, by the way. He's filling in.
Yeah, he does good work, man.